Hey, so today we're going to take a look at wrist pain during those dreaded bar chords. We're going to take a look at why the pain happens, how to fix it, and then how to make sure that it doesn't happen again in future. So let's jump in and take a look. The bar chord is one of the most challenging things for beginner guitar players, but it's also one of the most rewarding. When you can play bar chords, you have these wonderful shapes that you can move around the guitar, and you can suddenly play what feels like every song you could want in comparison to the first chords you learn on the guitar. So they're really important, they're a really big achievement when you first start learning them on the guitar. But one of the big issues with bar chords that people come up against is wrist pain, shoulder pain, arm pain. There's all sorts of things that go on. And that's because bar chords are the first really technical challenge that happens on the guitar. So if you're watching this video today, probably you're already in a bit of pain with those bar chords. And so we're not going to take a complete beginner's approach. We're going to look at what common things people are doing that make those bar chords have problems. So here's what a bar chord should really look like on the guitar. Notice where my fingers are, how they're on the fingertips, how my fingers are curled, and where my first finger is, here. And also notice where my thumb is. So that's what a bar chord should look like. Also notice how my shoulder and elbow are. They're quite relaxed when I play this. Just watching this side of where my shoulder and arm are can be really important, and we'll talk about why. So now that you've seen what a bar chord should look like, let's talk about what mistakes that are often being made that cause problems in a bar chord when people are playing. So the first thing that people do a lot with a bar chord that causes mistakes is thumb placement. So where your thumb should be is around about in line with your middle finger on the other side. So if I poke the thumb up above, it's just in line with that middle finger. Okay. Now where it doesn't want to be, and where most people end up putting it, is like here, they put it up here, they might put it down here, all sorts of places. That thumb wants to be there because it's going to help you get some grip on the guitar. The next thing that I see going on with a lot of guitar players is they're practicing the bar chord in the wrong place. So they're trying to learn to do the F chord first. This is really common. People try and learn the F chord as their first bar chord, and I really don't recommend that. Why? The F chord is the hardest bar chord that you could ever do on the guitar because it's the furthest away from your body, which is hard, and it's also got the frets the widest apart. So it's quite a challenge, and it puts a lot of pressure on the arm here and on the wrist. So I recommend when you're learning the bar chord, you start by learning it up here at the 5th fret, around the A note here, which is on the 5th fret. And you try and get that to sound nice, and you gradually move down as you get stronger on the instrument. So the number 3 problem that I see with people when they're learning the bar chord is that they can't get their hand to open up here. So you see the position of my hand is nice and curved. It's not like this. My wrist is not bent, and it's not like this. See, my hand is open, and my wrist is not quite straight, but it's close enough to. It's just slightly pushed forward. And that helps me get the hand shape for my fingers here and get my fingertips on the guitar. What I see from a lot of people is they look like this or look like this. That's mostly got to do with how their shoulder and their elbow is aligned, and they kind of sit over the guitar like this, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's not really good for your guitar playing, and it's not good for your back either. So here's what I recommend. Sometimes you'll see people, like classical guitar players, they practice with their guitar on their left leg. They sit and they have a straight back, and I think that's great, but it can be difficult to do on acoustic because the body's in the way, and also it's impossible for me in my tight jeans. because I can't get the guitar close enough to me. So I have a solution. What you want to do, I recommend, is getting a guitar strap and hooking that onto your guitar, and we can get your arm in the right position. Okay, so I have a guitar strap here, and what I'm going to do is just put this over my body. When you're learning bar chords, one of the most important things is to get the technique right first, and then you can shift to whatever position that you want. And when you're compressed like this, because you're doing strange things with your body, it's not easy to learn in that position. So I really recommend putting guitar strap on and actually shifting the guitar across your body. I have it super high, so you can have it a bit lower. Basically, as long as it's across your body so that you can have a straight spine, unlike when we're learning here, there's no straight spine, then this is good for learning the bar chord. It's good for your body in general to practice in this shape, but I recognize that it doesn't look the coolest to some people to play like this. And me too, when I'm playing on video or when I'm performing, I'm on the right leg, or and I'm doing whatever I can to give the best performance that I can. But when I'm practicing for lots of hours, I want to save my back. I already spend enough time in front of a computer, I want to have a good back for a long time. So I'm normally sat like this with my guitar. So now, when we're in this position, I can practice the bar chord, and it's easier for my arm to be in a position that creates this shape. It's very easy to get that shape now in my hand because of where my body is on the guitar. So the last big tip that I have for bar chords is about the bar itself. So this is a huge mistake that I think almost everyone makes with bar chords when they play, and it's what's burning your hand right out. And it's one of the biggest things that will make a difference in how long you can play bar chords for. It takes a bit of nuance to get used to, but let me show you what's going on. So what most people do with a bar chord is they think about the bar here and how important it is, and they squeeze that down as hard as they can possibly get. Now, beyond the point that this is the least important part of the bar chord, you need to press these down more than this, because these are doing more of the work. Pressing this finger down as hard as you can is completely pointless and actually defeats you being able to play the bar chord at all. Why? Well, because if you're pressing down as hard as you can get and trying to play all those notes, these fingers are already pressing on some of the strings that you need to press. So you don't have to have a flat finger that whole time at all. You can have your finger only pressing down on strings 6, 2, and 1. Let me show you how that works. So if you look at my hand here, it looks like I'm pressing down my first finger on everything. But what's actually happening is there's a curve to that finger. So it's I'm not pressing down straight, I'm rolled on the side. And you can see the lines there. You can see the lines there are on the side of my finger. Okay, now my first finger is only pressing down. I'm only actually putting pressure on string 6 and 2 and 1. Everything else, they're touched, but they're muted. So if I was to play just my first finger, it actually sounds like this. That causes very little burnout in my hand and wrist and arm because it's not very intense for my hand to only play 3 strings. It's an odd position if you've never done it before, but if I press down all of them, that does cause some burnout in my hand. It's much more taxing. So doing this is much easier. And then these fingers, which are really important, play those middle 3. And that's how we get the whole sound. If you like this video and you want more help with bar chords, I've made a free guide with more advice on how to get your bar chords. I'm going to put it in the description below and in the first comment. Just click on it and I'll send you that for free. Thanks very much. See you next time.